What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here, and welcome to our daily show where we discuss the fourth stimulus check update, the next two stimulus packages, the next physical infrastructure package, part one, and the next stimulus package, part two, which we pretty much have a deal or preliminary deals, I should say, on both of them. Part one, the physical infrastructure package, we have a bipartisan deal between the Republicans and the Democrats on $1.2 trillion. And part two, the next stimulus package named the American Families Plan, a deal, at least a top line deal that is only between the Democrats. The Democrats plan on passing this stimulus package only through the Democrat vote. Not a single Republican is expected to vote yes on this. They plan to pass this through the reconciliation process, and it is expected to at least start out at $3.5 trillion. To compare that, the third stimulus check package, the American Rescue Plan, was $1.9 trillion. The American Families Plan is $3.5 trillion. So it is almost double. Yes, it is a large package. There is a lot of money, and we're going to be getting more details of what is in that package. So, yeah, on this show, we're going to be discussing the details of what is in those packages as we discover more of what is in those two packages, when they're going to be passing them, as well as on the show, we talk about what is going on in our country and what is going on in Washington, D.C. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss out on new updates. We talk about that as well as all the different stimulus programs and provisions like mortgage assistance, rental assistance, property tax assistance, utility assistance, the child tax credits that today is actually Child Tax Credit Day, as millions of Americans are getting their first payments of the expanded child tax credits, $250 to $300 via direct deposit today. If you are on paper check, basically snail mail, waiting for it in the mail, well, good luck, because it could be several days or even a week or two until you get it in the mail. So make sure you subscribe down below. It's completely free to do so. And remember that new videos come out here on our channel every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So yes, today is Child Tax Credit Day, the day that the first child tax credits, the official payment date, that July 15th, that are going out. 65 million payments are going out today to 65 million children. The payments go out to the person who claims the child on the most recent tax return. $300 for children under the age of 6. Children ages 6 through 17 are $250, and the children ages 18 through 24 and fully enrolled in full-time college can be eligible for a $500 one-time payment. Yes. President Biden has been out and about today, hailing the child tax credit payments as transformative. By the way, these are a total of $3,000 for children ages 6 to 17 and $3,600 for children under the age of 6. The monthly payments will be on or around the 15th of the month through the end of the year. And the first 6 months of the year, you will get on your tax returns, the 2021 tax returns, when you get your tax returns next year. You're going to get $1,500 for children over the age of 6 per child, and children under the age of 6, $1,800. There's no child limit. So if you got 10 children, God bless you. We have one child, and it's, trust me, it's a handful with just one. Yeah, good luck with 10. But yeah, if you didn't get your payments today, by the way, if you have any friends with children, any family members with children or anything like that, share this video with them. There's a lot of people with questions. There's a lot of people that don't know about these payments. There's a lot of people getting the wrong payments or getting less than they should. There's a lot of people that didn't get their payments today. I'm going to be going over a lot of commonly asked questions over the next few days, as these 65 million payments, a lot of people aren't getting them. They're getting them late. They're trying to figure out what's going on. I'm going to be getting information here from the IRS, and as we kind of collectively figure out what's going on, I'll be answering these questions for you, along with the fourth stimulus package, as we figure out what's going on with that over the next few days as well, and any other stimulus updates. I'll be updating you guys on everything for you guys. I'll also put a link down below in the description of the video to the IRS portal where you can log into the IRS child tax credit portal to log in and see if there's any updates, or you can update your banking information or get information directly from the IRS regarding your child tax portals, your child tax payments, update your banking information, anything like that. But if you have any friends or family with children, you probably should share this video with them. There's a share button down below with them. Share this video on Facebook so that they know about this information and they can get a source of information like that. Here's what President Biden had to say today.
I believe this is actually a historic day. Historic day in the sense that we continue to build an economy that respects and recognizes the dignity of working class families and middle class families. It's historic, and it's our effort to make another giant step toward ending child poverty in America. I think this will be one of the things that the Vice President and I will be most proud of when our terms are up.
Also, I want to say that the IRS says that they are depositing the payments today, but the money might not be available. Also, if you amended your IRS tax returns, the money might not be available, or you might not even get the advance payments until your IRS tax returns are fully done. So if you amended your tax returns, they might not be available immediately also. Also, the IRS is sending out 4 million tax refunds for unemployment, the $10,200 unemployment tax breaks. These are kind of auto amended. This should not really affect your child tax credit because these were auto amended. This should not really affect your child tax credit payments. These are additional kind of stimulus provision checks from the third stimulus check package that makes the first $10,200 of unemployment income from 2020 tax-free. The average amount of checks going out for this is $1,265. Although we have had hundreds, if dozens or maybe hundreds of people in the comments section below say that they have actually gotten checks for over $2,000 or even $3,000 from this stimulus provision that was added in the third stimulus check package, literally the day they passed it in the Senate. In fact, the House of Representatives passed the bill in the House, didn't even include this stimulus provision, and the Senate amended it and actually added it in at the last minute. So you can thank your senators for this last minute amendment if you had unemployment income last year and got this extra check. If you didn't receive your check yet for this, well, I will keep you up to date on that as well. The second round of that is going out right now. This likely there will be more rounds of that. For the third stimulus check, there was actually over 9 or 10 different rounds of checks that are going out. Again, if you're on paper check and not direct deposit, as always, your checks will take longer. Direct deposit is always faster. I recommend for anybody, always get yourself on direct deposit for your tax returns because it's just way faster. Paper checks, they have to print a check, mail it, put it in an envelope, and it really just kind of takes weeks and weeks longer. Sometimes your check can get lost in the mail. If you move, your check can literally get lost because if you direct deposit and you move, well, it won't really matter. Now, if you change bank accounts, though, that's kind of the same situation. So please keep that in mind. If you change bank accounts, though, you can update your bank account information for the child tax credits with the link down below in the description as well to the IRS website for the child tax credits. If you're on a mobile phone, you may need to click the down arrow to open up the description area to find that link for the child tax credits. Next up, for the fourth stimulus package, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer has announced a $3.5 trillion deal, top line deal, which basically means that the amount of the package is going to be $3.5 trillion. He says when you add that to the $600 billion in the bipartisan plan, that's a little confusing there because the bipartisan plan is actually $1.2 trillion. It's $600 billion of old money, which means they're going to use $600 billion of old stimulus money that's still available and $600 billion of new money, basically new spending. He says you add that with $600 billion of old money, and you'll get to $4.1 trillion. So between the $3.5 trillion and the $1.2 trillion physical infrastructure package, there's a total of about, what is that, $4.7 trillion between the two plans. The thing to note here is that between both of these plans, though, is that both of these infrastructure part one and part two, or stimulus package and physical infrastructure package, both the plans are paid for. A lot of people that are worried about inflation, here's a key note here. When we talk about the past stimulus packages, remember former President Trump, he passed 5 stimulus packages. Actually, 2 of them had stimulus checks. If you've been following the show, you know he actually passed 5 stimulus packages. There were 3 other minor stimulus packages in there that had money for like vaccines and paycheck protection program and some other minor packages in there. But he actually passed 5 stimulus packages. President Biden has passed 1 so far, and there's 2 more in there. You might not even consider the physical infrastructure package a stimulus package. But regardless, those 6 stimulus packages that were in there, nobody paid for them because there were no taxes raised, and the government already spends more money than they take in. So nobody really paid for them. There were no pay fors. Okay, so they pretty much just went on the national debt. 5 from former President Trump, 1 from Biden. No tax raises. Nobody paid for them. They just went on the national debt. What's interesting though about both of these, the physical infrastructure package and this next stimulus package, American Jobs Plan, American Families Plan, is they're both, at least what they're saying, is they're both actually paid for. So if you kind of think about this when it comes to inflation, this shouldn't really affect inflation if you think about it, because what they're going to do is they're going to pay for them. So what they're going to do is they're going to take all the old stimulus money that's sitting around. There's about $1.6 trillion of old stimulus money that has been paid for from past stimulus packages and hasn't been used. That they're going to use all that money, and they're going to raise taxes on corporations. They're going to raise the corporate tax rate, probably in part number 2. They're going to raise taxes on wealthy individuals, the 1%, people making over $400,000. They might raise the capital gains tax rate. There's going to be several different things that they're going to be negotiating here in part 2. Okay, both part 1 and part 2 are paid for. So technically, at least from what they're saying so far, all this is kind of under negotiations. We could see a lot of changes here. There will be no money added to the national debt. So technically, this should not really add to inflation. There will be no money added to the national debt. All this is paid for. So basically, the government is going to take in new money via taxes and some of the money through creative stuff. Like, in fact, I'll show you here one with the IRS. Another one is one of the things they're going to do is a real big advantage for seniors is new Medicare benefits. They're going to add hearing, dental, vision, and hearing aids for seniors, as well as hopefully lower prescription drug prices for everybody in the U.S. This has been something that has been worked on for many, many years. They're saying this is going to be in this package. We're going to still have to get details on this. It's been worked on for many, many years. They're saying it is in this package right now. This is kind of a huge, huge victory for seniors. The 75% of seniors do not have hearing, dental, and vision. They don't have hearing aid coverage. They can't get hearing aids. They have to pay many, many thousands for them. They don't have dental coverage. They can't get dentures for free. All this stuff is going to be included now in Medicare. Well, they can actually pay for that. This whole package is going to be like $600 billion. One of the creative ways that they can pay for that $600 billion is by forcing pharmaceutical companies to sell their prescription drugs to the U.S. government for the same price as they sell it to other countries like Canada, Australia, the United Kingdom. So if they sell insulin to Canada for $9 a vial, they'll have to sell it to the United States for the same price. That can save the U.S. government $600 billion a year. Okay, that would be a pay for because the U.S. government would save $600 billion a year. That would be a paid for because the U.S. government would save $600 billion a year. So they're going to raise taxes on corporations, on wealthy individuals, possibly on capital gains tax rates. And they're also going to do some creative things like saving $600 billion a year. So all these things are going to be paid for. They're called paid for, pay fors. Yeah. So we'll have to see. All this stuff is under negotiations. Another creative way they're going to do this is this. And this is actually hitting a little bit of a snag right now. You can see here trouble. The IRS funding snags a bipartisan, the IRS funding part snags in the bipartisan infrastructure deal. A bipartisan group of Senate negotiators is looking to replace a proposal to provide $40 billion in new funding for the IRS, which is projected to net $100 billion in new revenues through tougher tax enforcements, because the idea is drawing heat from conservatives. So again, this idea here is give $40 billion to the IRS, and it will net $100 billion in new revenue through IRS tax enforcement. In fact, the IRS commissioner, Charles Rettig, says that the IRS is actually owed up to $1 trillion per year every single year in money that the IRS is owed. They just can't enforce it. So if they were able to enforce every dollar that the IRS is actually owed, they could actually have an extra $1 trillion a year. Now, enforcing every dollar that they owe is a totally different story. In fact, the IRS wants to be able to download everybody's bank account transactions. And of course, nobody wants that to happen, because if the IRS was able to get everybody's bank account transactions, every single download, that would not be a good thing. It would be an invasion of privacy for all of us. That is something that the IRS wants. Whether they'll get it or not is a different story, because they would literally have to, they would be able to go and mass download everybody's bank account transactions globally, or at least for the whole United States. And nobody wants that to happen, but that is a proposal that the IRS wants, because then they would be able to algorithmically, through algorithms, be able to figure out who owes them money just by downloading your bank account transactions. So yeah, like I said, it's a funny thing. It's like, yeah, you want the IRS to be able to take in tax revenues, but you don't want to give them too much control, too much power. It's like you don't want to give them too much rope, because yeah, they have to take in tax revenue, but you don't want to give them too much power because, well, I mean, they are the IRS, right? Members of this group and sources briefed on the discussion say the negotiators are looking for an alternative to the so-called IRS pay-fors in the bipartisan infrastructure bill, which is seen as a major source of revenue. But the problem is there aren't any obvious options for finding $100 billion in revenue to replace the IRS provision. When asked how the stalemate over the IRS funding could get resolved, Senator John Tester, a Democrat from Montana, said, a member of the group said, just go and find a pay for. That's it. So yeah, ultimately there will be several back and forths of what's going to be in the infrastructure package, what's going to be in this next stimulus package. The top line numbers may be negotiated down. The pay fors may be negotiated down. Really, we just kind of got the top line number for the next stimulus package, the $3.5 trillion. We're going to have a lot of back and forth on the next stimulus package. Now, remember, the next stimulus package, the American Families Plan, really is only going to be negotiated by the Democrats. You're going to hear a lot of Republicans, and I'm not really picking sides here. This is just kind of how things are. Remember, the third stimulus check package was passed through the reconciliation process, which means, and just the kind of the current political landscape, the Democrats control the House, the Senate, and the presidency. That's just kind of how it is right now. Back in 2017 and 2018, the Republicans had control of the House, the Senate, and the presidency. Right now, it just happens to be the Democrats. The Democrats passed the third stimulus check package all by themselves. They're going to pass this next stimulus package all by themselves. So not a single Republican is probably going to vote for this next package. Not a single Republican voted yes on the third stimulus check package. So the Democrats are going to pass this next package without a single Republican vote. So the Democrats only have to negotiate for the next stimulus package, the American Families Plan, amongst themselves. For the physical infrastructure package, part one, they are negotiating with the Republicans. But for the American Families Plan, they really don't care what the Republicans think. You're going to hear the Republicans arguing over it, and they're just going to vote whatever the Democrats think. Okay, so really, we're going to see what's going to be in this next package. There's a lot of things up for negotiation: stimulus checks, an extension of the child tax credits. Those are only passed for this 1 year, 2021. Um, the Medicare extra benefits, I think that's actually a huge, huge deal for seniors. If they will be lowered to age 60, um, they're lowering the Medicare eligibility age to age 60, as well as how the extra benefits will work, what the details on that will be. Will we see an extension of the SNAP benefits, the pandemic EBT benefits, WIC benefits, all sorts of extra things like that, as well as will we see more mortgage and rental assistance and all sorts of extra kind of stimulus benefits like that. So I will keep you up to date with everything. Don't miss any episodes at this point, because yeah, we're gonna basically have a lot of new breaking news regarding these next stimulus packages. And remember, at this point, anything can be added in or subtracted literally up until the day they pass it. Remember, the second stimulus check wasn't even in that package until 6 days before. They originally announced a second stimulus check package without a second stimulus check. And then we had so much outcry and support for saying, hey, you got to put a second stimulus check in there. We actually had senators from both at the time when former President Trump was president, and Republicans had to pass it because they controlled the Senate as well. We had Republicans like Republican Senator Josh Hawley and Bernie Sanders both saying, we're not going to vote for this unless you put a second stimulus check in that package. And they forced them to actually take this $160 billion away from states and cities and give it to you guys as the second stimulus check. So anything can be added in or subtracted up until the day they pass these next packages. So I will keep you up to date. New videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure to subscribe down below. It's completely free to do so. And click the bell icon that appears after subscribing to all notifications to get reminder notifications when we go live with new videos. You can click this top video here to watch my newest stimulus check video next. And this video teaches you how to start your own business selling products on Amazon FBA. I have had dozens of students that have replaced their 9-to-5 income selling products on Amazon FBA, and I teach them how to do that. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.